must think he know it all.
Yo, how's everybody doing? You are now tuned into the first ever episode of the Wise Guy Podcast with your host, Bam, the man with the plan. First and foremost, I want to give a couple shout outs out. I want to give a shout out to my dog, Woods. Thank you for the beat. If you need any beats, hit him up. The name will be down below. And I also want to give a shout out to my dog, Herb. He got a brand coming out in a couple months. His Instagram and information will also be down below. And also my dogs back home in St. Pete. My dog Chap and Savy, they got a podcast they're doing right now. They're trying to go dumb. They're doing big things right now. Go like and subscribe their stuff. It will be down below too. And also want to give a shout out to myself for finally starting this. Like it's been a long time coming. A lot of trials and tribulations, a lot of setbacks that happen. But we here now, bro. So a little about me. Well, I'm from St. Petersburg, Florida, 727, born and raised. What I really love to do is I love sports. I love talking about them. I love playing it, whether that's basketball, football, and so on. I'm very competitive when it comes to anything. Basically, what this podcast will be about is we're going to focus more on sports right now. But when I get my foot in the door and when I get some traction, I want to move on to other things, such as being a news outlet for you guys. Also talking about trending topics around the world, whether that's music, whether that's stuff that has to do with in the media and just other things. But basically, right now what we're going to do is we're going to talk more about sports. So I want to get started right now. It's been a big free agency week. Free agency just started this week and it's been big. A lot of big names, a lot of big signings happening. So what I want to start with is first off, we got Derrick Henry. He signed to the Baltimore Ravens for a 2-year, $16 million contract. If you think about that, that's gonna be a lot of running. You got one of the best. You have one of the best, if not the best, running backs in the league. To go with one of the reigning MVP, Lamar Jackson. That's gonna be that backfield is gonna be like that. I ain't gonna lie. It's gonna be a lot of running, but then again, Lamar can throw the pace again too. So it's gonna be fun to watch. And they always had a defense too, so they're definitely gonna still be a Super Bowl contenders. They're still gonna be knocking on that door. So we just gotta see if Lamar can take them over the top. But adding Derrick Henry might be able to just take them over the top, because when they play the Chiefs, I think the score was like 10 to what? Like I'm gonna look up the score real quick. But I know it was a very close game, and they could have won the game if just a little bit of more plays. If Zay Flowers never fumbled in the end zone, they would have had another touchdown. It's just a lot of things that go into that happened that they actually could have went to the Super Bowl, but they didn't. It was 17-10. It was a very low scoring game. And if you think about it, the Ravens really had one of the best offense and defenses in the league this year. But you're going against Patrick Mahomes. A lot of stuff he can get away with that a lot of other quarterbacks can't get away with, if you know what I mean. But next up, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers. They signed Russell Wilson for a 1-year deal, the league minimum actually a 1-year deal for $1.21 million. So Russell Wilson getting signed to the league minimum, you think that would that make him have a chip on his shoulder to show everybody that, oh, I still got it, even though everybody's talking crazy about me in the media, my teammates, people not coming? Like they said, he had a birthday party when he was at the Broncos, and nobody showed up. There's been a lot of people in the sports media talking crazy about Russell Wilson, saying this, that, and to think that really, if you really think about it, when he got that contract for the Broncos, he was really the second option. Because if you think about it, Nathaniel Hackett, he went over there. He came from Green Bay. He went over there, and he became the head coach. The whole purpose was for the Broncos to get Nathaniel Hackett was to get Aaron Rodgers. But then Aaron Rodgers signed to the Packers. Back, I think it was 2022. Yeah, it was 2022, 2023. He signed back to the Packers, and the rest is history. They got Russell Wilson, so he was pretty much the backup plan, but it didn't work out. They paid him all that money. They still have to pay him money. They paid him all that money. They released him. They benched him first, and then they released him, and now they have to Now they have to eat all that that dead money. They have to pay him. So even though Russ is getting the league minimum from the Steelers for that 1 year deal, he's still gonna be getting paid for the Broncos. But I hope that him getting signed to this 1 year deal, he can really show that he still has it, and he's gonna have weapons on this the Steelers team. So they have weapons on the offense on receiver. They got George Pickens, they got Najee Harris, they got the one running back, I forget his name, but yeah, they got a bunch of weapons on their team, and then you already know their defense speaks for itself. So they're always gonna be, I don't want to say a contender, but they're always gonna be in that space where they're gonna make some noise, and they have an amazing coach too. But a thing is, they also signed Justin Fields. The thing with Justin Fields is he really didn't have a market for him. I think the Bears was right when everything happened. I think they were trying to trade him, but there wasn't really a market for him. I feel like Justin Fields is, you can compare him to like a Desmond Ritter. I think his comp is like Mitchell Trubisky. Other than that, he's not really. I don't. He's definitely not going to be a starter unless Russell Wilson does some other junk and he'd be named a starter. But I've always thought that Justin. I know. Before I even say this, I know. You see in the background, I'm a Packers fan, so I really have no respect for anybody that plays for the Bears. 10-0, like, come on, bro. But I've always thought that Justin Field was a backup. The reason I say this is look at his numbers. I'm gonna read off some of his numbers. The first year he played, he only played 12 games. But the first year he played 12 games. He had 1,870 yards. He had 7 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. But he also had 2 rushing touchdowns. The second year, which was 2022 year, that was his best year. He had 2,242 yards, 17 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, but he also had 8 rushing touchdowns, and he had 1,143 rushing yards. So that was a pretty good year, but then again, they didn't really do that good. But his third year, he didn't play all the games. He played 13 games. He had 2023 year, he had 2,562 yards. He had 16 touchdowns and 9 interceptions, but he only had 657 rushing yards, which, if you think about it, he's more of a he's a dual threat, but he's more of a running quarterback. If he doesn't, whenever I watch Justin Fields, if his first read is not there, he's gonna tuck it and run every time. But for him to only have 657 yards is but he did only play 13 games. He got hurt. So at the end of the stretch, at the end of the year, they had I think they won 4 games. They didn't beat us, but they won 4 games. So after that, when I saw that they signed Keenan Allen, they extended Jalen Johnson, the corner. They got Swift from the Eagles. I thought okay, if I'm a Bears fan, I'm like, okay, we making moves. Something's going to happen. But then they traded him, so it's obvious they're going to get Caleb Williams with the number 1 pick. If not, then I would be very surprised if they don't get Caleb Williams. But other than that, I always thought that he was a borderline backup. No offense. But then again, I know what you're going to say. Oh, he had 3 different offensive coordinators, 2 different head coaches. But, if you look at his numbers, it's not adding up. And then this year they gave him, he had some pieces. He had he still had Moody. He had DJ Moore. He had Herbert, the running back. He had some pieces, and their defense was like that this year. So he definitely had some pieces. But I do feel bad for what he went through. The odds were definitely stacked against him. But then again, I never really thought he's not the franchise guy at all. He's not a franchise quarterback. But hopefully he can, if Russ is not a dickhead, hopefully he can learn off of Russ and learn different things that Russ does. And hopefully after Russ is done at the Steelers, he could be the new franchise guy. But other than that, I never really thought that he was that guy. But then again, he did get drafted to a shitty situation. But the Steelers, they also signed Patrick Queen to a 3-year, $41 million deal. And then we have the Philadelphia Eagles. They signed Saquon Barkley to a 3-year, $37.75 million contract. That is gonna be an amazing backfield because you think about it. You got Jalen Hurts, then you got Saquon Barkley, and Saquon Barkley finally has a O line. So I'm very excited to see what he does with that O line, what he does with the everything. If you think about it, I think when Saquon got drafted, did he every year he had something like a lingering injury happen to him, and it's always because of the O line. The Giants never really had a O line. They never really took time to spend money to protect him. They really gave all the money to Daniel Jones in that big contract. Well, he got overpaid, crazy overpaid to only have one playoff game, only one playoff win. But I'm really excited to see what he does. And then the Eagles still have weapons. I really don't know what they're gonna do on the defensive side though. They did sign Devin White from the Bucks. They signed him, but other than that, they need more corner. Oh yeah, they did C.J. Gardner Johnson. He's coming back to the Eagles too. But other than that, they need more people in the secondary to help because their secondary is not too good. Other than Slay, they really don't got anybody. And then we have the Dallas Cowboys. They after the season was over, Jerry Jones said that he was gonna go all into the free agency. So after they dropped Tony Pollard, I really thought that they were gonna get somebody like a Derrick Henry, a Josh Jacobs. Saquon was still on the market, but they didn't make any big names. Like if you're gonna drop Tony Pollard, you need a running back. So my thought was go get Derrick Henry. He already lives in Texas. He's from Texas. Go get Derrick Henry. But you know how they get. They didn't sign anybody. They signed a linebacker, but other than the linebacker they signed, they didn't sign anybody else. That was one of the main things they needed though. They really needed a linebacker, and I think they really need a running back right now. Think about it. I don't really know who's their running back. I know they have the small guy Deuce Vaughn. But other than that, I really don't know anybody else they have at running back. So I guess in the draft they're gonna get a running back, but that's something they really need. And then after that we have the Chiefs. The Chiefs, they signed Hollywood Brown to a 1-year deal worth $11 million. This signing is kind of I want to say they're giving Patrick Mahomes more weapons, but then again, if you look at what Hollywood Brown has been through with Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, and now Patrick Mahomes, he had a lot of drop passes. And then what Patrick Mahomes just went through last year, he had the most drop passes in the league. He's gonna do you really want to add him? If I'm the Chiefs, I want to go get like a T Higgins or even an Odell. I still think Odell has it in him. He's just got released for by the Ravens. I feel like he still has it in him. Go sign Odell. Maybe you can make something happen. And if not, I feel like if Justin Jefferson, because I heard that Justin Jefferson, he declined his $37 million contract. Whoa, it wasn't 30. It was 37 a year. We don't know how much it is, but it was 37 a year. But I feel like Justin Jefferson is definitely. I feel like he's, if not the best, he is the best. He's the best receiver in the league, and I feel like he's worth $40 million a year. So I feel like if Justin Jefferson doesn't re-sign with the Vikings, he can either go to the Cincinnati Bengals. That would be amazing. The reunion would be amazing. He can either go to the Cincinnati Bengals or go to the Chiefs. And then we get what we got from Tom Brady and Randy Moss. We get it from Patrick Mahomes and Justin Jefferson. That would be amazing. That would be amazing if you think about it. If they get Justin Jefferson, I like the Chiefs for a three-peat. I don't want them to three-peat, but I like the Chiefs for a three-peat. The Chiefs, they also re-signed Chris Jones to a 5-year, $158.75 million contract with $101 million guaranteed. And they franchise tagged their corner. And after that, we're gonna get into the Packers. The Packers free agent news. They actually went in this year, bro. As a Packers fan, we really never. We only make big signings a couple years. Like I remember we signed Charles Woodson in 2006. And actually 2020 we had a couple big signings. We signed We signed Smith. He plays for the Browns now. Who else we signed? I think we signed Preston Smith, um, Xavier Smith. Who else? It was a lot of big signings that year that I felt like, dang, we might be able to do it. That's really it on the defensive side. But this year, I ain't gonna lie, we signed two big names, but we didn't lose. We lost a big name too, but we signed Josh Jacobs to a 4-year deal, $48 million deal that includes 12 million signing bonus and a total of 14.8 million in the first year. Josh Jacobs in 2022, he was one of the best running backs. He was a first team All Pro. I think he led the league in rushing yards. And the thing that separates him and Aaron Jones is, first off, the age. Aaron Jones is 29, about to be 30, and Josh Jacobs is 26. And another thing that separates them is, I feel like that Josh Jacobs has is way faster than Aaron Jones. Like if you want to go back into like 2021 where we were playing the 49ers in the divisional round. I hate this game, but we were playing the 49ers in the division round, and Aaron Rodgers rode to his right. He hit Aaron Jones for like a 70-yard pass, and Aaron Jones had like nobody in front of him. He just had like one of the safeties or corners like running to try to cut him off, and Aaron Jones, instead of running straight, he went to his left. I don't know, like, and I feel like if Josh Jacobs was in that situation, he's gonna run straight, and he's fast. I feel like he's not way faster than Aaron Jones, but he's faster than Aaron Jones. He's gonna score. And if we score that touchdown, we win the game. But I'm gonna definitely miss Aaron Jones. He was a real Packer. He was a good person. Like, everything that he did. Like, I remember in one video when we were playing the Rams this year. This was like when everything was like downhill before we started going upwards. We were playing the Rams, and I think Dontavius Wicks, he fumbled the ball. He got a first down and then fumbled the ball, and he put his head down. Aaron Jones ran up to him and lifted his head up, and he tapped him on his chest, basically saying like, "Keep your head up, bro. Like, you're gonna have plenty of more plays to make something happen and everything." So I'm definitely gonna miss Aaron Jones. We re-signed AJ Dillon to a 1-year deal, which I wish that we could have re-signed Aaron Jones, but they said he wouldn't take another pay cut, which, if you think about it, he already took like 2 pay cuts to stay with the team and try to be a Packers for life. But yeah, we lost him. What also makes me mad about the whole situation is Adam Schefter. He tweeted that we were in the works to sign Aaron Jones and get like restructure his contract so he could sign again. And then I saw Josh Jacobs sign, so I'm thinking, but we have the best running back duo in the league. It lasts for 45 minutes. But other than that, we got Xavier McKinney. He the safety from the Giants. We signed him to a 4-year deal worth $68 million, including a $25 million in the first year. We're gonna look scary. I ain't gonna lie. And we got a new defensive coordinator. We're gonna look scary for some people this year. Very, very scary. If you think about it, we got Jordan Love. Speaks for itself. Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs in the backfield. Then we got AJ Dillon at running back too. But I think we're gonna probably either gonna pick up another running back in the draft, or we're gonna go try to get a linebacker because we lost DeAndre Campbell. But we got Jordan Love. Then we got Josh Jacobs in the back. Then we got Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Dontavius Wicks, Jaden Reed, Bo Melton, Tucker Kraft, Luke Musgrave. Bro, we have them. Bro, we got them dogs on a team. The future is as bright as the sun, okay? That's all I have to say about that. After that, we want to move on to the Minnesota Vikings. They signed Sam Darnold to a 1-year deal worth $10 million. And they also picked up Aaron Jones for a 1-year deal worth $7 million. I feel like everybody in the NFC North, whenever we drop a play, they always want to pick up our leftovers, but it is what it is. I wish the best for Aaron Jones, but then again, it seems like whenever we drop somebody and they go to like our divisional rivals, their career always goes downhill. I'm not wishing that for Aaron Jones, but I'm just saying like what I see. But I feel like the Sam Darnold signing, I don't know if I don't think he's going to be a starter. I feel like the Vikings, they're going to trade up and try to get a quarterback in the draft. Maybe they trade up to that fourth spot, and they try to get Jaden Daniels from LSU. But I really don't know what they're going to try to do. But I know they're going to try to get a quarterback. If they don't get a quarterback, then what are they going to do for Justin Jefferson? With Justin Jefferson with an elite quarterback would feed families. Like, we got to get that man out of Minnesota. Not saying because he's a divisional rival, but we have to get him out of Minnesota. After that, we're gonna go to the NFC South, where we have the Atlanta Falcons. They signed quarterback Kirk Cousins to a 4-year, $108 million contract, including a $50 million signing bonus. And then Kirk Cousins receives $100 million guaranteed. Guaranteed. Let me tell you one thing. Kirk Cousins is a 35-year-old coming off an Achilles injury that's only won one playoff game his whole career. Just got signed to a $180 million contract. Whoever this man's agent is, that man needs to get paid. I'm not going to say he's stealing money, but do you really think he's worth that much after coming off an Achilles injury? And like we know what Kirk Cousins is going to give you, but even with the weapons around you, we know what Kirk Cousins is going to give you. He's going to get you to the playoffs. You might not win, but he's going to get you to the playoffs. And if not the playoffs, you're going to be a 500 team. So, but then again, the Falcons, they have a lot of weapons. They got Pickens, they got Drake London, they got Bijan in the backfield. They just picked up Moody from the Bears. So they have some weapons, and their defense is like that. But I don't know. We're going to have to see how he looks after the Achilles injury. He's never been a person to like scramble and everything. He's always a pocket quarterback. But $180 million contract. I really thought the Falcons were going to go in the draft and get like a Jaden Daniels. Or I really thought they were going to try to get Justin and see how he works out. But then again, like I said, there wasn't a big market for Justin. The Bears were trying to trade him, but they couldn't trade him. They finally traded him. They traded him for a bag of popcorn, like a 6th-round pick. Come on, bro. Like, they really disrespected that man's name, if you think about it. But I'm very interested in seeing what happens with the Atlanta Falcons. I'm very, very interested, actually. But after that, I want to get into the Bears, actually, what they did. So, obviously, they traded Justin to the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, it's obvious that they're going to get Caleb Williams. Me being a Packers fan, I'm not really nervous, but it's going to be some competition because Caleb Williams is like that. And then they just got Keenan Allen. They still have DJ Moore. DeAndre Swift just got signed. They have a defense. Their defense is very, very good. So it's definitely gonna be a competition. Definitely gonna be a competition. It's not gonna be like the first game where we 40-balled them, but not 40-ball, but 30-ball. But it's definitely gonna be a competition this year. But signing Keenan Allen, that's a big. If he can stay healthy, that will be good for Caleb Williams. But then if you look about it, they're doing all this stuff for Caleb Williams, and they didn't do anything for Justin Fields. The only thing they did was got him DJ Moore. So if I'm Justin Fields, I'm looking like, damn, y'all ain't showing no love. So like, if I get an opportunity to play for Pittsburgh, I'm gonna have that chip on my shoulder. I'm gonna try to go dumb. But then again, it's the Bears. So like, the last great Bears team I've seen was 2018 when they had Khalil Mack and everybody. Mr. Trubisky was at quarterback, and that's the year they lost to the Eagles. And the Eagles went on to win it all. But that's the last good Bears team I've seen. Other than that, I've seen this guy own them. But after that, like, I don't know. I really feel like the Bears are definitely going to be a threat this year in the NFC North. But I feel like we're going to come up on top. So I don't know. It's just I really want to see what happens, really. So the next topic we want to talk about is we done with the 90s. So if you don't know, if you're living under a rock, basically It's been going viral all over TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, like all social media platforms. It's been going on with this thing called "We Done with the '90s." So basically, it's this guy. He's showing videos of old basketball players, Michael Jordan, Patrick Ewing, Shaq, Charles Barkley. He's showing videos of them like stuff they can't do. Like they said that Jordan can't go left. He's a he was a modern day Jalen Green, which is blasting. Like that's a crazy comparison to make. But yeah, so basically he's posting a bunch of stuff on Instagram and TikTok, basically like showing a bunch of lowlights of players in the '90s and how how this generation of basketball is way better than back then in the '90s. What I want to say about that is basically you can't disrespect the OGs of basketball. Like you can't disrespect the people that came before the generation we have now. Because you think about it, they walked so this generation can run. There wouldn't be any Kobe without Michael Jordan. There wouldn't be any LeBron without Michael Jordan. These are all everybody in the '90s. These are all players that these players in this generation used to look up to. Like if we're saying we're done with the '90s, that means we're done with the Charles Barkleys, the John Stocktons, the Karl Malones, the Kobe Bryants, the Shaqs. Who else? Steve Nash played a little in the '90s. AI played a little in the '90s. Like there's a bunch of people in the '90s. I feel like from 1995 to 2010, 2014, that was like the best like basketball. Like the defense was phenomenal. The scoring was that was like I feel like that was the best. Like those are the best eras of basketball. I feel like the 2010s eras was the best eras of basketball. When you talk about Kobe, AI, Tracy McGrady, LeBron, Dirk Nowitzki. Now, if you think about it, basketball is still amazing. Like I feel like we're definitely way more skilled and more athletic than they were back then. But the thing is, like everything's more spaced out. We don't play more. The defense is not played a lot, so that's why we see a lot of people scoring 70 now. Like Luka has 70 against the Knicks. Joel has 70 against the He has 70 against Philip. Not I'm tripping. He has 70 against Sacramento, and then who else? I think Devin Booker. He scored 70. Donovan Mitchell. He scored 70. Like there's just so many people dropping 70 back to back to back to back. Like you can tell like the defense is not being played as good as it was back then. So like I just feel like we should just if you're gonna judge the '90s, you have to actually watch the game. Like sit down and watch a full '90s game. If I'm gonna judge Michael Jordan, I'm gonna sit down and watch a full Bulls game. I'm not just gonna go on Instagram and go on TikTok and watch a bunch of low light videos. They literally made a highlight reel of low lights. Like, come on, bro. And the thing that I have a problem with now is since he's doing this and he's bringing all this other stuff up, what I see other people doing now is they're doing the same thing with LeBron, the same thing with Kobe. They're showing a bunch of lowlights. So, like, what's the point? Like, it's just disrespecting basketball as a whole. And I looked on the guy's page. He was actually a basketball player. So for him to ask if you're a basketball player is like surprising for him to do this. But then again, I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to get that little clout. He's trying to get viral. Like he's trying to get a name for himself. So he probably can do other things. But I respect what he's doing in a sense, but I don't respect how he's doing it. There's different ways you can do things to get some money, if you know what I mean. But disrespecting the Shaqs and Jordans and Charles Barkleys, the people that came before the generation now is crazy to me. Like, and when I get older, if I see my kids going on TikTok talking crazy about Kobe Bryant, I might just crash out. Like, why are you talking crazy about Kobe Bryant? Why? Like, come on, bro. Like, and then like they're saying they were saying that Michael Jordan couldn't go left, and then this one guy on TikTok. You might know him. He goes by Unk. He talks a lot about sports, a lot about basketball, a lot about football. He literally showed a whole video of them dissecting and showing that Michael Jordan scored more points on his left hand than his right hand his whole career. which is crazy to me. Y'all making people actually go and look that stuff up to prove a point. Like, come on, bro. If you love the game of basketball, you love watching. You're not gonna disrespect it at all. You're not gonna go and just show off a bunch of lowlights of people missing layups, missing threes, and missing dunks. Like once he really put he had the audacity to put Shaq up there, the most dominant center ever. He had the audacity to put him in a video saying we're done with the '90s of him missing a layup and missing a dunk. Come on, bro. Like we just have to do better, bro. We have to do better. Have to. But the next topic I want to talk about is Jalen Green having a baby with Draya Michelle. If you don't know who Draya Michelle is, she is a actor and a American reality TV star. She was on, I think, Basketball Wives, and then she was in a couple movies. But basically, Jalen Green, we all know Jalen Green. He's a 22-year-old basketball player, and Draya is 39. When I first heard about the news, I really didn't think much of it because, like, people always be dating people older than them, or like even when it comes to men be getting with younger females, and sometimes older females be getting with younger men. So I never really thought about it because at the end of the day, if you're over 21, you're a grown ass man. So and you're a grown ass woman. So like, it's not my job to judge. The problem I have with the situation is that Draya Michelle, she has 3 childs. Well, she has 2 plus the baby she's expecting with Jalen Green. The problem I have with is her oldest child is also 22, making Jalen Green the same age as her child. So that's just kind of crazy to me how that works. And then if you don't know, Draya has a past with other rappers, other singers, other entertainers, and other athletes. So like, if I'm in Jalen Green's shoes, I want to do some research before I have a baby with this person. It's like you want to do your Carfax before you get a car, right? Go do your research before you talk to that female. Not even talk to her. Before you have a baby with that female, you have to go do your research. So if you think about it, it is kind of bad shot selection in a sense on his part, because I'm gonna read some of the names that Draya Michelle has dated before Jalen Green. So we got Jalen Green, we got Tyron Taylor, the New York. Well, he was the backup quarterback for the New York Giants. We got French Montana, we got The Game, we got Ray J, we got Wiz Khalifa, we got Chris Brown, we got Sean Diddy Combs, we got Lil Wayne, we got Fabulous, we got Paul Pierce, Gilbert Arenas, Jay-Z, and Kenneth Martin. So looking at all these names, what's the props for high or low for a baseball player? I put the money line on the baseball player now. Y'all think the baseball player? You think she's gonna get with a baseball player next, or is she gonna stay in her range with actor, rappers, and artists? Like I feel like she might. She definitely might get with a baseball player next. If she doesn't, I don't think she's gonna stay with Jalen Green because she's on the record as saying that she doesn't really want a relationship. She just wanted to have another kid. So that's another thing with doing your research, doing your Carfax. If I'm Jalen Green and I seen that, I'm like, dang, she just want a kid for me. She just want to like put me on child support, take my money. She don't really like me. Like, come on, bro. So at the end of the day, like, you just gotta study film before you get with a female, you know? And like, I'm not gonna say she's trying to make a come up, but Jalen Green, he's making up like more than $18 million a year. So like, the situation's just iffy. And then again, you had Gilbert Arenas and Swaggy P go on their podcast. I know they weren't even on their podcast. They were on like I think it was Instagram Live or something, where when Gilbert Arenas found out the news about she's expecting a child, he started bringing up old past, like the old stuff that he used to do with her. So I guess in the videos, Swaggy P was talking about how he was driving in front and Draya and Gilbert Arenas were in the back, and he said he turned around and saw things happening. Well, he said he saw that Dre was giving Gilbert Arenas oral sex. The problem I have with this situation is that Swaggy P said that after he saw that, it changed his life. How are you watching somebody else receive oral sex? How is that changing your life? Pause. Crazy pause. Like, come on, bro. But other than that, like, then again, if you want to put yourself in Jalen Green's shoes, you want to, like, come on. Like, if I'm expecting a baby with this woman, and then somebody comes out and saying, "Oh, she used to do such and such with me," like, I'm gonna feel it type of way. Like, this is the mother of my child. Like, you want to see me. But then again, Gilbert Arenas gives, he doesn't care at all. So I'm not surprised that he did this, but I don't feel like it's the right thing to do. Doing, like, you have to respect the female. You have to respect that she's about to have a baby, and respect that Jalen Green is about to have a baby with her, and that you, like, come on, bro, like, you supposed to be the OG in the situation, bro. Like, come on, bro. You really making fun of, like, the youngins, bro. Like, come on. We don't want to do that. So my next topic I want to talk about is, we're going to talk about basketball and the standings in the East and the West. So right now in the East, we have the Celtics at 1, we have the Bucks at 2, the Cavs at 3, the Knicks at 4, the Magic at 5, the Pacers at 6, the Miami Heat at 7, and we have the 76ers at 8, the Bulls at 9, and then the Hawks at 10. I'm not going to name all of them because at 10 it stops where the play-in is. So I feel like it's to come out the East. I feel like it's gonna be a toss up between the Celtics and the Bucks. I feel like the Celtics, because they have more weapons. They have Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown. They got Derek White. They got Kristaps Porzingis, and they got a lockdown defender with that being Drew Holiday. And then to come out the play-in, if it was to end today, if the season was to end today, the play-in, it will be the Heat, the 76ers, the Bulls, and the Hawks. I feel like the Heat and the 76ers might come out. But then again, the Hawks might come out due to the fact if the 76ers don't have Joel Embiid, I feel like the Hawks might come out because Trae Young, he be going dumb in them little play-in games. I ain't going to lie. Them and the Bulls are always in the play-in games. And the Trae Young always goes dumb. But other than that, yeah, I feel like the Celtics and the Bucks, they're going to be they're the top 2 contenders right now. And then we have the West. I ain't gonna lie, the West has everybody. It's gonna be a tough going in the West. So right now, the game, the Nuggets just lost to the Mavs today. So they went down. So we have the Thunder at 1, the Nuggets at 2, the Timberwolves at 3. We have the Clippers at 4, the Pelicans at 5, the Kings at 6, the Mavs at 7, the Suns at 8, the Warriors at 9, and then we have the Lakers at 10. Come on, Lakers. But I don't know. It's gonna be a toss up because I feel like it's really gonna be anybody's. It's gonna be anybody's game. Really, you got the Thunder and the Nuggets and the Timberwolves and the Clippers. Those are the hottest team in the West. I feel like the Clippers, if they don't get Kawhi back, then they might be a second or first round exit. The Timberwolves, if they're gonna be like that due to the fact they have Ant-Man. He speaks for himself. He's like that. I feel like he's the next coming to Jordan. I feel like he's gonna be like that for many years to come. When LeBron retires, I feel like he's gonna pass his crown right to Anthony Edwards. If not, it's gonna be Luka. But the thing about Anthony Edwards and Luka is Luka, he doesn't play off ball at all, bro. If he doesn't have the ball in his hands, he's just standing there. That's one thing I hate about Luka's game. Luka's one of my favorite players in the NBA right now, but that's one thing I hate about Luka's game is he doesn't play off ball. He doesn't move around doing he doesn't do it, and he doesn't play any defense. But he definitely gonna get you a bucket. He definitely gonna pass that ball. That's one thing he gonna do. He gonna make something happen. But I feel like the Nuggets, they're the reigning champs, so they might be the favorites to win it right now because they got Jokic and they got Jamal Murray and they know how to work as a team. But then we got the youngins. We got the Thunder. The Thunder looking nice this year. They got Shad. They got Chet. They got some pieces in there. I ain't gonna lie. So they might make they're gonna make some noise in the playoffs. But if you think about it, the plan right now is the Mavs, Suns, Warriors, and Lakers. It's gonna be a toss up to come out, but I hope that we see a the Mavs versus the Suns due to the fact that Luca always goes dumb. Luca and Devin Booker is always a fun game. Then we got Kyrie and KD. Like it's that's gonna be a fun. Like I hope that's a playing game. If not, I hope it's a playoff game. But whoever wins, they have to go play the first two teams. So if the Lakers come out, they're gonna have to play the Thunders. If the Warriors come out, they might have to play the Thunder. And then if the Mavs come out, they might have to play the Nuggets. And if the Suns come out, they might have to play the Nuggets. So like it's gonna really be a toss up in the West. I have no idea who's gonna win it all, but it's gonna be very interesting to see who goes down. But I feel like the sleepers right now in that Western Conference is definitely the Mavs. Because if you think about it, they have Luka and Kyrie, two of the best scorers in the league. Like I feel like that's other than Dame and Giannis, that might be the best backcourt in the league. And I feel like that if they just start playing defense, they can. And I feel like if the Mavs were at the 4th spot or the 3 spot, then we're automatically giving Luka MVP, right? Because he's leading in points, he's 2nd or 3rd in assists. He had like I think he passed Russell Westbrook's for like most consecutive triple doubles in a row. Not like the averaging triple doubles, but most consecutive in a row. So I feel like if they just get to that 3rd or 4th spot, Luka's gonna get MVP. But Luka's been knocking on the door for MVP for a while. He just has to get to that 4th or 3rd spot. You can't win MVP the 8th and 7th spot each year, bro. Come on, bro. Like you have to do better. And last year they didn't even make the playoffs. They were like the 10th seed. But it's gonna be really good. It's gonna be a toss up. I know that, but I just can't wait for the playoffs. It's gonna be like that. It's gonna be very, very, very interesting how everything turns out. But I'm gonna put my prediction right now. My prediction for the NBA championship is I like the Celtics. I don't want to say the Nuggets, bro. I don't want to say the Nuggets. I'm gonna say the Celtics versus. I'm gonna say the Celtics versus the Nuggets. All right, that's gonna be it. But then again, if the Celtics have to play the Heat, I don't know if they're gonna win because Jimmy Butler, he has their number. Every time he plays them, he either gives them hell or like no, he always gives them hell. But the one year they went to the championship and they played the Warriors, the Celtics. They played the Warriors. They beat them. They lost literally by a 3-pointer. The Heat literally lost by a 3-pointer. If he made that 3, they're going to the championship. I don't want to see the Heat in the championship again because it's always like boring. But I feel like that Jimmy Butler, he's always gonna make something happen in the playoffs. Playoff Jimmy, he's always gonna make something happen. So it's like the playoffs this year is gonna be very interesting. But I have the Nuggets and the Celtics in the NBA championship. So hopefully I'm right. Hopefully I'm wrong because I really want the Lakers to go, but. Y'all know how I feel about the Lakers, bro. Y'all know how I feel about Bron and everything. Like, ever since we had the 2020, the NBA championship, but ever since then, everything's been going downhill. Then when Bron came, he had everybody. He cleared his shelf. The only person he kept was Kuzma. I don't know why. And then we had other people go on to have phenomenal. Well, not phenomenal, but they had amazing basketball careers. We had Julius Randle. He went on to be an All-Star. We had Caruso. He's balling for the Bulls right now. Who else we had? We had Lonzo. He got hurt. We had Josh Hart balling for the Knicks right now. We had but we had a lot of people, bro, that we just Brandon Ingram balling for the Pelicans. Like we had a lot of people that Bron said, "You out the door," and keep Kyle Kuzma is just crazy. And where is he at now? The Wizards. But that's just another thing saying like how LeBron has his favorites, and if you LeBron's favorite, you stay on the team, you know. But I don't know. It's gonna be very interesting, very very interesting. So the next topic I want to talk about is Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers. So right now, this has nothing to do with football, but So Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He's running for president for the 2025 election. He's not running in a Republican or a the Democrat Party. I think it's like the liberal. I want to say, fact check me on that one, but he's running for president and he's considering Aaron Rodgers to be his VP. So we all know how how the candidates work, like how everything works. So basically, when everything's happening, they basically try to dig up everything and try to find anything that can make you look like a bad person, so other people cannot vote for you. So what they did to Aaron Rodgers is they digged up a so on so conversation. There's no video evidence to prove this. There's no written evidence to prove this. It's just a conversation. He say, she say. They brung it up and they said that Aaron Rodgers in 2013 at a Kentucky Derby party that he said that Sandy Hook was a staged government event. First and foremost, I want to say that we don't condone what happened at Sandy Hook at all. Like, that was a tragedy. A lot of kids lost their life. A lot of adults lost their life. It should have never happened. It was a horrible tragedy that happened, and it should never be played with like this. Like, the one guy that said that it was a false, like it didn't happen. He got sued for like millions of dollars. I forget his name, but he got sued for millions of dollars, and this is just something you don't want to play. You don't want to play about. Like, come on, bro. This is something like, if you say something like this, you will have people like come to your games booing you every time. It don't matter. It doesn't matter how good you are, because Aaron Rodgers, like, he's arguably one of the greatest players of all time without the rings. But if you think about it, like, arguably before Patrick Mahomes, he was one of the the greatest skilled quarterbacks we ever seen. Argue with your mom about that, bro. We ain't gonna do that per garages. But other than that, so basically, there's no evidence supporting her statement that she said. She's just basically saying that he told her at the Kentucky Derby party that it was staged and it was false and it didn't happen. It was a government. It was something to hide the government. But what I have a problem with is they're going off of what one person said, and they're showing it on CNN, NBC, Fox 13, and that's just kind of crazy to me. Like, you're going off of he say, she say, and you have no facts or evidence to prove that what he said was actually what he said. So I want to play a clip for you real quick where Aaron Rodgers basically, he was talking about the tragedy and everything. So we're gonna roll the clip.
That as well today. He shares what he hopes will come from this tragedy.
I hope that we can learn from this and look for the signs more and not ever have something like this happen and keep this on our minds, because these are things that affect all of us directly or indirectly, and this needs to be something that we learn from.
On that as well.
So after that, Aaron Rodgers posted to X saying, "As on record saying in the past, what happened in Sandy Hook was an absolute tragedy. I am not and have never been of the opinion that the events did not take place. Again, I hope that we learn from this and other tragedies to identify the signs that will allow us to prevent unnecessary losses of life. My thoughts and prayer continue to remain with the families affected along with the entire Sandy Hook community." So basically, like, he said back then in like 2012 that this was like a horrible thing that happened. Like, we should look at things to do to prevent these things from happening. So my whole problem is, like, don't bash somebody if you have no proof. Don't say something like that if you have there's no proof to say it. Like, you're basically hoeing him. And if I'm Aaron Rodgers, I'm gonna try to sue her. But if you don't try to sue her, there might be a little. It might look like you actually said it if you don't try to sue her, really. But then again, like, it has nothing pertaining to football. But it's a sick situation that he's in, and I hope that he gets his name. I hope that this goes away, because I don't care about anything But watching him play football, I am a huge Aaron Rodgers fan. I don't care about him taking all this ayahuasca, doing these little retreats where he's in the darkness for a whole week. Like, I don't care about anything. I just care about when he throws that piss game. So, and then going along with this, I heard that they signed the two tackles to protect Aaron Rodgers. So, hopefully that he comes back healthy off the Achilles injury. He actually does something. But it's just a very sick moment that happened. But that's pretty much wrapping up the first podcast, the first episode of Wise Guys. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you if you made it this far. And after we're gonna be talking about a lot of things. Like when I get my foot in the door, when I get some traction, we're gonna be talking about other things. We're not only gonna be talking about sports. So if you don't know anything about sports and you want to see me talk about other stuff, just wait. Be patient, bro. Just follow me along in this journey, bro. Bam out.